Okay, next we need to put the holes in the bottom of this, the bottom of the bottom piece. So let's orient it kind of in the direction the book is showing it, so it'll make it a little easier to see and dimension things. And since there's 8 holes in a pattern, let's create a sketch on this bottom plane and put in points. Okay, and I'm just going to drop in 4 points on each side, not letting them constrain to anything. Okay, and then we'll do horizontal and vertical constraints. I thought I clicked horizontal. Okay. Oh, because I'm rotated away from horizontal. That's why. It's based on my axes. So we want to line all of these up, and that'll just make dimensioning easier. Okay, and now we'll put a line, a construction line, right down the center of this, because if you see the way it's dimensioned in the textbook, it's the center line of the part, not the center line of the holes, if you will. Okay, and so now we'll dimension from the center line to the holes on the cylinder side. Oh, wait. Let's do the other ones first since they'll be easier to see. So let's go from the end to there. And I'm going to start placing them, and you can place them also. Wow. What was that? I'm not sure what happened with that. Oh, it's kind of weird. Okay, so that got all those dimensions across. And now then, we'll go from here to there. And then from that set of holes back across to the bottom set. All right, finish our sketch. Let's go to the hole command. And these are threaded holes, no counterbore. They are 3/8 by 16. And they are a full depth thread, but it goes a distance of 1.25. Awesome. Okay, and so that's got that has pretty much got our part, both of our parts complete, I do believe. All right, so let me save that, and I want to go back to my assembly, and let's do an update because you can look. Okay. Now we want to add 2 hex head cap screws. Now we're going to do this from the content center. If you have problems getting them to load, let me know, because it has to do with the installation of your content center. And it's not something that I can deal with in video. We'll have to do it on a one by one. So we go to assemble and components, and we go place from content center. And these are in bolts, hex heads, and depending upon how you installed your content center, you may have all of these or you may just have a few. What we want is the hex cap screw inch type. So I'll click that. All right, now here's, let me stop. Up here, this is the auto drop. And when that's turned on, you select what you want and then you go over and you drag it over your hole to drop it in. And it supposedly sizes it automatically and it's supposed to speed it up. Personally, I find it more cumbersome. You can certainly try it. It's totally up to you. Maybe it worked fine for you. I just have difficulty with it often. So I just manually drop them. So I'll select it and go OK. And then I pick my size. And these were, what were they? They were 7/8 by 2.75 coarse thread. And I'm going to drop 2 of them in. Okay, now you could certainly do an cylindrical joint, I guess. I don't know. I find it easiest just to do an insert constraint because you have to watch your surfaces on these things. So with my hole, I know it's going in on that surface of the hole. And on my bolt, because this is a cap screw, I want to hover until I get the base of the cap. That's the part of the cap screw right there, the little washer face. Okay. Now let's just tell it OK and switch to wireframe so that we can look at it. Okay, so here's my bolt. The washer face is sitting down on the spot face. Okay. All right, and we'll check our clearance in a moment. For a spot face, that's probably okay. All right, let's go back to shaded here. All right, so let's do the same thing over here. Constrain it. Insert. And apply that. Now, that gets them constrained in the hole and to the surface of the hole, but they will rotate. And I do not want you to have them rotating. So what we want to do is constrain them so that they look the best in the best view. And in our case, the best view is going to be the front view. So we're going to constrain, we're going to go flush on the faces of the two so that they stay oriented together. And then we're going to do an angle constraint, and we'll choose a directed angle, and we'll choose the face of the hex bolt and then the front face of the part, or you could use an axis plane. And we're going to leave that at 0 degrees, and that forces them to be parallel with each other. Okay, and so now they don't move. All right, if we look down here, we can see the bottom of the screw just barely sticks out, which is the way it should be. Let's check our degrees of freedom. Everything looks good. We got no degrees of freedom markers. And we look down from our top view, we can see that those hex heads just barely fit inside our counterbore. And since it's a spot face, that's fine. If it were an actual counterbore, there would have to be enough clearance there for a socket to fit down in there with it. And the machinery's handbook tells us exactly what size that would be. Okay, so that's got our assembly done. Next is materials. We can go back to our part file and make these changes. These are iron cast. Okay, and you'll need to do both and all. And then we want to deal with our surfaces that get machined. And with this one, there's a lot of them. And these are chrome polished. Okay, so the bottom is all machined out smooth, the edges, the mating surfaces, and that. So that's got that part done. You'll want to do change the material types on the top. And then once it's all done, save everything up. And my next video will deal with the actual drawings that you're going to set up.